Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am absolutely pumped you're here today because we're tackling something that gives practically every new EA Sports FC 26 player a massive headache. Our goal right now is pretty simple. We're going to transform you from an overwhelmed beginner, just kind of button mashing your way down the pitch, into a confident, tactical FC 26 player. And we're going to do it by cutting out all the noise and focusing strictly on your ultimate toolkit. Let's get right into it.
Let's be real for a second. When you first start out, what usually greets you is this massively intimidating, multi-page PDF manual of game mechanics. It lists hundreds of button combinations, from these super obscure flare passes to really complex goalkeeper positioning. It is, frankly, completely overwhelming. But I'm going to let you in on a massive secret that the pros already know. You do not need to memorize that entire manual. No way. You actually only need to master 10 foundational controls to see immediate game-changing results on the pitch. Mastering this specific core toolkit is what actually wins matches.
So, to make this incredibly easy to digest, we're going to chunk these 10 controls into specific phases of play. We'll quickly master the basics, look at movement and passing essentials, dive into attacking and skill moves, figure out how to defend like a pro, touch on some advanced team controls, and wrap up with your ultimate foundation for winning. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Movement and Passing Essentials, Controlling the Flow.
Listen up, because this is probably the single most common mistake beginners make. Constantly relying on the sprint button. I get it, holding down R2 and zooming everywhere is super tempting, but we are swapping that out. You need to start pressing and holding R1 for the controlled sprint. The direct application here is just massive. Using R1 keeps the ball significantly closer to your player's feet. You get vastly better control when attacking compared to a full-blown sprint. It lets you actually weave through tight spaces instead of just pushing the ball way ahead of you and accidentally losing possession. And building right on that R1 button, let's compare your standard pass with a driven pass. Pressing X gives you a normal ground pass, which, is totally fine for simple build-up play. But by holding R1 while you press X, you fire off a driven pass. This pass is so much faster and way harder for defenders to intercept. When you're staring down a really tight defensive line and you just need to laser the ball right to your striker's feet, the driven pass is exactly what breaks through. Now, to build your attacking threat even further, we have the famous triangle button for the through ball. See, while a normal pass goes directly to your teammate's feet, hitting triangle perfectly leads your attacker into open space. It literally pierces the defense. If you see your winger making a darting run right past the fullback, this is absolutely your go-to move to reward that run and create a huge scoring opportunity. Moving right along to Section 2, Attacking and Skill Moves, Finishing the Play. First up in our attacking arsenal is the ball roll. To pull this off, you simply hold the right stick to the left or right. That is literally it. It's the absolute easiest skill move in the entire game, but please do not let its simplicity fool you. Mastering this slight drag of the ball makes a massive difference in one-on-one situations, especially right before a defender commits to a tackle or right as the goalkeeper is rushing out at you. Next up is a total classic, the fake shot. You press circle to initiate a shot, and then almost instantly press X to cancel it. Boom! This incredibly quick two-button combo completely fakes out AI and human defenders alike. When you are jammed inside a crowded penalty area and you just desperately need one extra yard of precious space to get a clean shot off, the fake shot is your absolute best friend. So you found that space, right? How should you shoot? Use R1 plus circle. That is the finesse shot. Why does this matter so much? Because rather than just blasting the ball with pure brute power, the finesse shot prioritizes deadly accuracy and curl. If you're shooting from just outside the box, aiming for that far corner, this is quite simply one of the single most effective finishing techniques in FC 26. All right, let's switch gears. Section 3, Defending like a pro. Keeping a clean sheet. Okay, the absolute biggest trap for new players is panic pressing that slide tackle button. We've all been there. But overusing slide tackles easily leads to unnecessary fouls and leaves massive open spaces for your opponent to exploit. Instead, you've got to focus on the L2 button. Holding L2 allows you to jockey. This keeps your defenders squared up, balanced, and containing the attacker while you wait for the absolute perfect moment to step in. It is for sure the pro way to defend. But hey, what if you need to apply pressure while also covering a pass? That's exactly where the second man press comes in, mapped to holding R1. When you hold R1, you actually call an AI-controlled teammate over to aggressively pressure the ball handler. This brilliantly frees you up to manually control your own player and step right into the passing lanes. It's just a highly effective way to totally suffocate an opponent's attack.
Let's level up a bit. Section 4. Advanced Team Controls. Managing the pitch.
Picture this. You've got the ball in the midfield. You look up and everyone is just standing still like a statue. Super frustrating, right? Well, pressing L1 manually triggers a teammate to make a forward run. It instantly injects pace into your attack and creates a dynamic offensive threat out of absolutely nothing. You don't have to wait around for the game's AI to decide to run. You command it.
Now, defensively, managing your team requires precision switching. Relying entirely on that L1 button to auto-switch players can frequently leave you super vulnerable, usually selecting the wrong guy at the absolute worst possible time. Right stick player switching is essential here. Simply flicking the right stick in the direction of the exact player you want to control gives you absolute split-second dominance over who you defend with.
And finally, Section 5, your foundation for winning.
Let's pull all of this together into a mental checklist for your next match. Rapid fire, here we go. Use controlled sprint to keep the ball close. Ball roll to beat a man. Finesse shot to bend it right in. Through ball and driven pass to completely break lines. Fake shot to buy yourself some space. Jockey and second man press to shut down attacks cleanly. Trigger run to force movement. And right stick switch to defend exactly who you need to. I promise you, prioritizing these 10 highly effective mechanics over that vast, intimidating manual is the true, undeniable foundation of strong FC26 gameplay.
So, before you pick up that controller to go test out your newly streamlined skill set, I want to leave you with a quick thought. Looking at this foundation we've just built, which control or skill move do you foresee yourself using the absolute most to dominate your opponents? Really think about how these mechanics fit your own personal playstyle. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Get out there, focus on these 10 essentials, and I guarantee you'll see a massive difference on the pitch.